visiting the Philippines, Manila or Quezon City is a popular destination. But oftentimes the hustle and bustle of the city can be more stressful on your vacation. So when you feel the need to reconnect to nature or relax again, there's a beautiful oasis just outside of the city called the Garden at Ciudad de Victoria. Some of the species that you can see here include hydrangea, snapdragon, and stargazers. They're truly beautiful. The gardens at Ciudad de Victoria are so peaceful, tranquil, and beautiful that it's become a haven for young couples and a very popular venue for engagement photos. The next time you want an escape from the big city, the garden at Ciudad de Victoria is a wonderful place to visit.
Okay, we're back with an interview with Dr. Felipe Comila, the Director of the Institute of Public Administration, and Attorney Dr. Julie Velasco, also a faculty of the Institute of Public Administration from the Benguet State University. And earlier we were talking about the factors that bring about peaceful elections in the Cordilleras. Okay, interesado kaming malaman, sabi niyo kasi peaceful eh. Kumusta pagkampanya? Because the violence, the disorder, the riots occur during the election campaign. Paano ba ang kampanya ng mga politiko sa ano? Pag galing na sila sa elder, okay. Pero siyempre kampanya pa rin. Normally hindi naman uurong sa kampanya yung sinabihin, oy, wag ka mo ng ano, pagbigyan mo na tayo isa. So how are campaigns there?
Yeah, ang campaign nila is there are times that they even campaign together, the different parties.
Wow.
And you don't find bodyguards. Walang mga bodyguards.
So they're together in one stage.
Yes.
Okay, and then they campaign. They campaign. Yes. Okay.
No below the belt.
No below the belt.
That's how we have seen it. They have high regards with each other.
So walang murahan, walang insentuhan sa stage?
None, sir. Wala po. So we are, yun po yung isa yung we are happy about that during campaigns, even if they have their own political parties do not have that high regards. So pag campaign, pwede po silang magkampanya dalawang partido, tatlong partido at the same time.
Magkakasama sa stage?
Yes, at the same time.
So one after another, they deliver their speeches?
Yes, sir.
Kumusta? Boring, ano? Sorry. Anyway, kumusta yung, ano, I mean, how about the audience? Paano yung reaction ng audience?
The audience are used to that already.
Okay.
Used to it. That they see them...
No mudslinging?
Yeah.
Yes, no mudslinging.
Kasi... the more po na it would affect the voters' choice, pag makikita nila ng isang kandidato, masyado siyang greed.
Matapang.
Yes, and masyadong agresibo.
Pwede ba mag-aral yung mga politiko sa mga politiko sa Cordillera? So, anyway, hindi ko ma-imagine, okay, sama-sama sila, they're together in one stage talking. They're not mudslinging. So what do they say? Kasi ngayon, of course, ang tradition sa atin, if you're campaigning, binabakbakan, sinisiraan mo yung kalaban mo sa politika. Pero ito pagkakasama kayo. So anong sinasabi? What do they say? What's in their speeches?
Yeah, of course, their agenda, their platforms.
Their platform.
In fact, it will be noted that historically, there was never one who has been filed with how they call that, yung dapat hindi pwedeng tatakbo.
Disqualified.
yeah, no disqualification,
disqualification.
or there's that other term in anyway. In addition to that, in fact, they embrace each other in public.
They have coffee each other.
They will have.
The candidates embrace each other in the public. Genuine embrace yun, ha?
Yes, yes.
Without holding any daggers at the
No
back.
pretension.
No pretension.
Yes.
Okay, so quiet talaga. Okay, and then pero after that they go on their separate campaigns. Door
Yeah.
to door.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
To door.
Okay, and I heard yung mga story na may mga narinig ako, they even eat together. They eat lunch together.
Yes, sir, that's true.
Yes.
Hindi nila nilalason yung isa't isa. I'm sorry.
No.
Well,
So it's still part of the peaceful culture.
Yes, sir.
Okay, paano pag, okay, they approach the elders, okay, sabi ng elder, okay, pagbigyan mo muna ito yung nire-recommenda namin pananagunin.
Yes,
How does the candidate who has not been quote-unquote anointed take it? Paano reaction ng kandidato na hindi inanoint ng elder?
there are others who, I mean, the majority of them follow. That's why in several elections we have seen there were no opponents. Yung single.
Nagwi-withdraw.
Nagwi-withdraw.
Okay, out of respect for the elders, they
Yes.
really withdraw. Okay.
Others, they continue to run, but as attorney has said, they really do not win because they hear, they respect what the elders had said to even to the electorates.
Sana ganyan din sa the rest of the Philippines. Tigil ka muna, ito muna pananalo.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What about yung term, until kailan yung term nung the support? Kasi local government officials, they only receive 3 terms.
Yes, sir.
Of 3 terms. So did they usually, the elders usually have the officials finish their term?
Yes, sir. Actually, they encourage, for example, they have suggested, suggested that this kind of politician will end his term or her term.
Okay. So they allow yung 3 terms?
Yes. If the
terms,
elder
yes.
said that, the politician is not allowed supposed to be, pag nanalo na siya, natapos na yung 3 terms niya, equivalent to 9 years, hindi na siya pwedeng bumalik.
Kahit ibang posisyon?
Oo, ang pwede lang siyang umakyat. Umakyat
Yes,
ng
yes.
position.
So if you're mayor, you can go up to vice
Board
governor,
member.
board member, or governor.
Yes.
You cannot slide down to vice
Vice,
mayor.
no.
Yes.
Pangit kasi yun, delikadesa.
Yes.
I hope the politicians are listening out of the delikadesa in Benguet. If you're mayor, you cannot slide down to being vice mayor so that you can skirt around the term limitations. Ang ganda naman. Can we have them as commissioners yung ating mga elders? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, because in the practice was that once they from mayor, board member, once they after 3 terms and once they go back, the people do not vote for them already because they say
Yes, no.
we have given you the chance. Why do you still have? We have to develop the younger ones also. That's how
the
they.
point.
That's the.
Is that in the Philippines?
Yes.
In Benguet?
It's in Benguet.
Pero there's actually, she's supposed to be here. Mayor Tabanda of La Trinidad, di ba, she finished her three terms,
3
9
terms
years. And
yes.
then she got elected as vice governor.
One
And then she
term,
returned again as
Mayor.
pero for 1 term only.
For 1 term,
Yes.
yes.
So that
yes.
was approved by the elders.
Yes.
Yes.
Pero yung second term niya, hindi na.
Yeah.
Wala, hindi na siya.
Okay.
Narin.
So you have this tradition of giving way to the young generation.
Yes.
Yeah, at the same time,
Okay.
Sir Calvi, they would want her to rest for a while because of her age. She's already like the president is 74, 75 now. So that's the way how they gave her the gift of it's a gift. For
This is
her
the elders,
to
This is the elders talking to them.
Yes.
Okay,
yes,
so they consult the elders, they go to the elders.
yes.
And imagine ko lang, where do the meetings happen? Paano?
They are going to set a day.
For example,
and
in La
then
Trinidad,
in
okay.
venue, it would usually in a house of an elder.
Yes.
Okay.
Usually in the house of the elder.
Yes.
Okay, doon nag-uusap with all the candidates.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And then some candidates who were not anointed by the elders, sila mismo they withdraw.
Yes.
Yes.
That's why, for example, in Kapangan, the mayor there is a good friend of mine. He ran unopposed.
Yeah, ano po,
Dahil yung mga elders siguro sinabi na, okay, patapusin mo muna.
pag-graduated tayo.
Kapangan, Bogyas today, last election.
So peaceful nga talaga kasi walang kalaban, ano? Okay, so ang ganda pala ng election sa Benguet. Pero kasi malamig kasi sa inyo eh. What about it? I'm interested. Another cold place in Cordillera is Mountain Province. Mataas din siya eh.
Yes.
Ganun
Yes.
din ba sa Mountain Province? Of course, we will not mention about we don't need to mention about Abra and some parts of
Yes.
some parts of Mountain Province. I know they are election-related violence prone, yung the lower parts, Paracelis, Natonin. Pero how about Bauco and Sagada?
It's generally peaceful po ang Mountain Province.
Okay.
Oo. Actually, we could hear that from our news na peaceful din pong Mountain Province, Baguio City, Benguet. Mountain Province is also
So
included.
you think they follow also the same system?
Yes.
The elders are the one, hindi dictating, ano,
No, it's not dictating. We would like
that-
to remove the word dictating.
Okay. Okay. What if kung yung kandidato ay hindi pinakinggan yung payo ng mga elders? Anong magiging impression sa kanila ng mga tao?
The impression would really show during election.
Okay.
That's why during election, doon na nila makikita na bakit mo pinagpilitan kasing mag-pursue where in fact you are being advised not to pursue. So definitely during election, ang nananalo talaga.
Ganun talaga nangyayari.
Yes. So,
No, without fail.
Yeah, there's the term in addition to that said by Attorney Jolie. There is what they call as sinaplit. I don't know. In
Sinaplit,
English,
sa
whip.
Tagalog is pinalo. Whip.
Pinalo.
Sa plitan, sa
Parang
plitang
the
ka.
people, just like one of the politicians there or some politicians, they say binaot. We
Binaot,
saplit."
pinalo. Whip.
So
The people.
the people will not allow him or her to win.
Okay,
Because
so it's the
he or
people
she
who
did-
made the split.
Yes.
The people who punish you because you did not listen to the
Yes.
elders. So malakas talaga yung impluwensya pa talaga. Malakas
Yes.
yung impluwensya ng mga elders. Ano?
yes, sir.
Okay, and yung kanina yung tanong natin, paano natin ma-maintain
Ma-maintain.
to? Anyway, we will talk more about the different issues surrounding the elections in Benguet, and we will talk about, I understand you did the research on the elections in Benguet and the rest of the Cordilleras. We'll talk about the results of that research when Asian in Focus Weekend Edition returns.
Ako ang tanglaw sa gitna ng dilim. Ako ang mata sa sahing papawid. Ako ang dilat sa tuwing ang bayan ko ay tulog ng mahindi. Ang aming buhay handang ialay para sa bayan. Kayo'y handang maglingkuran.
Join us in celebrating the 72nd anniversary of the Philippine Air Force.
Landmarks, Linggo, alas 6 hanggang alas 7 ng gabi.
Narito po ang mga mo
Okay, we're back with our interview with Dr. Felipe Comila, the Director of the Institute of Public Administration, and Attorney Julie Velasco Binaldo, also of the Institute of Public Administration of Benguet State University. And we're talking still of the elections in Benguet Province in Cordilleras. So tahimik ang kampanya, tahimik ang election. The elders, quote-unquote, anoint, recommend those who will be voted, and the people follow.
Yes.
Yung mga hindi sumusunod na kandidato, sapsaplit nila, they punish it so they don't emerge as winners. Which means, pag ganon, elections are not costly.
No.
Therefore, if elections are not costly, the politicians did not invest big amount of money, so lesser corruption.
Yeah, that would follow.
So can you say that there is, compared to the rest of the Philippines, politicians in Benguet do not engage in large scale, meron siguro paunti, pero do not engage in corruption as we know it in many other places in the
That's how
Philippines?
we look at it.
Okay.
In fact, in addition to lesser expense, they do not even file a nuisance candidate to some of those.
Okay.
Even if they know that they have money, they don't. They just don't care.
They just allow them.
Just allow them an
Anyway, the
expression.
people will decide.
Anyway,
Yes.
the people will
Okay.
decide.
So, yan, Attorney Julie, so corruption, walang masyado.
There's no much corruption with regard to that. Kasi nga po, pag during election, hindi naman sila ganong naglalabas ng, for example, expenses for during campaign. Maglalabas man siguro sila, pero they share each other. For example, yung sabi nga po natin, tatlong partido, they will be sharing, for
Bayad sa
example.
stage,
Yes,
bayad sa pagkain, hati-hati.
Yeah, hati-hati na.
Yes.
Nakatuwa sila, no? Boring. No, I mean, not to negative, pero may mga lugar palang ganito sa Pilipinas talaga. So they share expenses, okay. And then, okay, tapos ang election, nanalo si inanoint ng elder. Kumusta? Ano ang after election, what happens then? Kumusta ang sitwasyon sa Benguet?
It would be fine. Then the people would be supportive to the winning,
Okay.
yung nanalo na.
Back to normal.
Oo.
Dahil wala namang gulo noong...
Wala.
So, which means even the counting, walang gulo.
Wala, sir. Wala
walang
pong recorded
walang
na...
protesta.
There were just a few sometime in the 1980s and
Okay.
early 90s where one lawyer protested, of course, in this province. But it's just only one. I think he should be just a contest of number 6 and number 7, but he was still in number 7.
Okay.
So he wasn't able to.
Kasi hanggang number 6 lang yung
He was saying he should have been the winner, but when it was the process went on, it was found out that he lost.
Talagang ano, okay. Pero let's say, that's an exception to the rule.
The
Ikaw, you're a
exception.
lawyer, walang lumalapit sa'yo na politiko na, I'll file an election protest.
None, sir. Wala po so far. And based din sa record ng COMELEC, wala pong so far na nagpa-file after ng
So they satisfy all the requirements,
Yes.
pati yung statement of expenses,
Yeah.
so walang nag-overspend kasi wala namang kailangang i-overspend. So is it safe to say that if you're anointed by the elder, you're a sure win?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That's why for lawyers who would like to practice in election,
don't go to Benguet.
there. You would have
For
no
election
case.
lawyers who want to practice their profession, don't go to Benguet. Malulugi kayo. You should just emulate Attorney Julia, who is a professor in public administration and she's handling real
Estate.
litigation. Pero walang election na
Yes.
walang election related matters. Otherwise, mababankrupt ang inyong negosyo. Anyway, you did a study, this is for your dissertation in public administration. You
Yes,
did a
sir.
study entitled Peaceful Electoral Process in Benguet Province, an Analysis. So, what are the
That's-
findings in your study?
Actually, that's not my dissertation.
It's part of your...
Yeah, it's just part of my research.
Oh, okay, okay.
The peaceful election process in Benguet was the first research. At the second research, I should say, that I conducted. This is to validate the factors that contribute in a peaceful election process in Benguet.
So, ano
There
yung
are
mga
4 notable factors. That the first one is to know first these factors and then to validate to the electorates or to
Okay, so ano
the
yung
constituents.
factors na yan?
Number 1 factor po is it has been said that Benguet people has a peace-loving blood.
Okay. So, actually, nasa DNA ninyo na peaceful. Okay.
Yes.
With that, when you say Cordilleras, may tradition ng headhunting eh.
Right,
Diba? Hindi pa kasama ang Benguet dito.
Yeah, so far,
Yung the old culture.
in the history, no, Benguet is not.
So, saan ang headhunting?
Mountain Province.
Mountain Province. Kalinga, Bontok. Diba? They had...
Yes, in Mountain
For
Province.
example, I
Yes,
also
yes.
remember in Sagada, I saw
Yes.
old pictures of headhunting.
Yes.
Wala sa Benguet.
Wala, sir.
As far as,
So talagang walang tahimik talaga ngayon.
yes,
Yes, sir. Wala pong headhunting doon ever since.
silent, loving people. Peace, loving.
Bakit? Anyway, it's in your DNA. So, okay, let's make this clear. The old tradition of headhunting did not happen in Benguet. It
Right.
happened in Kalinga, Apayao, and parts
Mountain
of
Province.
Mountain Province. Parts of Mountain Province.
Yes, parts.
Okay, the Mountain Province, the parts of Mountain Province which are near Benguet, walang ganito, no?
None.
Wala,
ganito.
sir.
So, it's in your DNA na you are peace-loving. Okay.
Yeah.
So, ano pa yung other factors?
We abhor warlordism. The people in Benguet do not like politicians having bodyguards.
Yeah, I remember whenever I was in La Trinidad, because I used to teach I was also a professor at Benguet State University. I see the politicians, they're just walking there in the streets with no bodyguards.
Yes.
Ba't ganito dito? Nasa Pilipinas ba ako?
Boring ba? Boring ba yan? Walang bodyguard.
So, yun, you don't like politicians having bodyguards?
We don't. Because if we have seen one politician having bodyguards, the people would definitely
Not like
yeah,
the
will not
politician.
vote for that politician already.
Kasi what are bodyguards for?
Yes.
For protection, wala namang lulusob
Oo.
sa iyo. Okay, so that's one. So you abhor warlordism. So there are no private armies in Benguet. But of course, in other provinces, for example, Abra, talagang alam ko may mga private armies yan.
Yes,
Even some
yes.
parts of Kalinga and Mountain Province.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Oo.
So what else? Ano pa yung mga factors? So you have Benguet as peace-loving people. It's in their DNA. You don't have a history. You're not involved in the history of headhunting
Yes, sir.
during the pre-colonial times. And then you abhor warlordism, kaya walang private armies, walang bodyguard, kaya walang election-related violence.
Yes, sir.
Kasi ang namamaril naman, ang nambubugbog naman yung mga bodyguard sa mga alalay, hindi naman yung mismong
Yes, sir.
politiko. Okay, what else? Ano pa yung
And
nasa
then
study
we
mo?
have this what we call our indigenous settlement of conflict.
Okay.
That it is also in relation to respect of elders.
Okay. The mechanisms you mentioned earlier, the tong-tong.
Yes, tong-tong or kali.
Or kali. What's the difference between the two, tong-tong and kali?
It's just a matter of the tribe
Okay.
terms, like Kali is in Benguet, Tongtong could be mountain province,
Okay.
and in Kalinga is Bodong.
Bodong.
Yes, we just differ in terms but the same in the direction.
It
of-
revolves around the principle of respect for the
Respect.
elders. The
Yes.
elders, hindi naman parang recommending na how this should be resolved. What about DAPI? Anong DAPI?
Yeah, that's another term that originated in Sagada, in Bissau.
Okay.
In fact, I had a paper about that, the disappearing Dapay. It's a place for discourse. It's likened into that town hall discussion.
Town hall,
yes, that's where we have that also.
So yung elders ang nag-uusap. And they're
Yes.
still being followed.
Right.
Kaya ang tanong kanina, saan ba nagbi-meeting, saan ba nagtotong sa inyo sa Benguet, in the house of one of the elders?
Yes. Kung doon yung pag-agrihan na pag-caucus or kung saan sila mag-uusap.
Okay. Pero sa Sagada nga, yung DAPI, I see it in the
Yeah.
middle of the village, di ba?
Yes, yes.
You have all these seats, di ba? Normally,
Right.
mga malalaking bato doon,
Right.
umupo yung mga
In
tao.
Sagada, they have the 12 seats representing the different elders there.
Plants. Okay, sige, marami pa tayong pag-uusapan while assessing the outcome, the practice of the elections in Benguet Province. When Action in Focus Weekend Edition returns.
The Cine Bata Video Festival is calling for submission of entries. With this year's theme, United in Love. If you are a Filipino video content creator, show us your best work for a chance to represent the Philippines. Deadline of submission is on August 30, 2019. For inquiries, visit or contact the following.
Abangan ngayong linggo sa
Net25 shows live and on demand anytime, anywhere, on any mobile device on OSN Play.
Welcome back to Action and Focus, and we're in the last block of interview with Dr. Felipe Comila, the Director of Institute of Public Administration, and Attorney Julie Binaldo Velasco, also from the Institute of Public Administration of the Benguet State University. Okay, we're talking earlier about your research on which is entitled yun nga, the peaceful electoral process in Benguet Province and analysis. Okay, ano yung mga issues and concerns? Of course we mentioned some earlier, pero can you expound more on this? For example, the influence of culture from outside. Ano ba itong outside na ito?
With regards to doon sa culture ng outside, inevitable kasi na syempre in one community nakahaluan na tayo ng ibang culture, ng ibang traditions,
especially
somewhat
those
like
coming
that.
from the lowlands,
Right.
We see this, kasi actually we earlier talked about yung anong yung nangyari doon sa plebiscite on the autonomy of Cordillera Administrative Region. It lost in the plebiscite.
Yes.
Talaga bang tinanggihan ng mga tao, ng mga native Cordillerans?
Yeah. Based on our paper, we titled it the postmortem analysis of the Cordillera Autonomous Region. It lost twice. There were two laws. The first in 1990s. Only Ifugao voted for yes. The other provinces in the city of Baguio did not.
Bakit natalo?
Well, it got lost because the law was seen as negative on us because of as we were saying, there are the native ones and the neo culture, native culture. If there is neo Cordillera, there is native Cordillera. The majority of these ones who are residing in Cordillera weren't able to appreciate the presentation of the law. It sounds like it is negative on them. And so,
sinong nag-take it negative? The native or the neo-Cordillerans?
I think it's more of the neo-Cordillerans. As Attorney Julie mentioned, that there are those from Visayas, Mindanao, and Luzon who resided there. Because the definition of a Cordilleran to that law is, so long as you stay there for at least 6 months, you are qualified. So
there's a difference between native Cordillerans who was born and raised and pure Cordillerans at saka din sa neo.
Yes,
Ang may ayaw yung mga neo.
Hindi yung native yung parang umayo, but may ayaw, tama. Yes, sorry.
Kasi marami na rin talaga yung neo Cordillerans.
Right.
Those who have intermarried with you said earlier, from those Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao.
Yes.
Okay, so how do you see this?
In addition to that, there were previously plebiscites that had been conducted for the Cordillera Autonomous Region supposed to be, but they were not able to meet the vote needed as required by the local government code. That's the reason why
Nag-boycott ba yung marami sa election?
Yung isang province or dalawang province lang ata kasi yung nag-vote, pero it's supposed to be contagious kasi yun dapat lahat ng provinces involved are supposed to be vote. So when they checked that, hindi lahat bumoto. That's why it was being disqualified yung first na plebiscite.
Sir Kaloy, the first was Ifugao who voted. The second was Apayao. The turnout of voting is more or less 70%.
Yes.
Out of the supposed 100% of the voters. In fact, in the first, they went to Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court said, one province cannot compose.
Cannot form an autonomous region. Kasi region niya. So is there a possibility for example, there will be a third plebiscite? What do you think will be
There
the
is
prospect?
now. Right now, I am included as part of the Committee on Review of the Autonomy, recommended by Ma'am Edna Tabanda. So we were making some suggestions, hopefully, but I still believe that it may pass Congress, it may even become a law, but the challenge that we
It's
have
a plebiscite.
is the plebiscite.
Will the people
Whether,
ratify the law passed by the Congress?
if the neo-Cordilleran will continuously be consistent in saying no,
Ilang percent na ba ang neo-Cordillerans? Do you have any figure? When you say neo, these are the intermarriages.
intermediaries, who, aside from those, if they were not married, those who come there for economic reasons.
Okay, so yung influence of culture from outside medyo, this may be
It's
one
very-
reason baka mawala itong ganitong
Peaceful
kultura,
election.
peaceful elections. Another one is, of course, we mentioned this earlier, the loss of respect to traditional custom centers. How feasible is this? Mawawala ng respeto sa traditional leaders.
Yeah, we could collaborate this one in relation to modernization din
Okay.
and education.
Okay.
Kasi apparently, though we do acknowledge that education would bring us into civilization, education would make us also separate.
Lose our traditions.
Yes.
Okay. So what are you doing to maintain these traditional customs? Lalo na kayo, you're from the academy.
Yeah.
You should be doing something. What are you doing to sustain this?
As a teacher, no, as much as possible, we would like also to educate our students. Yung mga kabataan ngayon na hindi portek meron ng they are being educated, hindi portek na we need still to respect the elders. Okay? Hindi naman yung sabi nga natin, nagpapadictate tayo sa kanila, pero in times of decision making kasi na syempre the yung great influence kasi ng elders during our time hindi tayo makapag-decide, that would guide us so that we could immediately decide.
Yeah, the wisdom of the elders.
The wisdom, yes.
Pero nga yung prospect of losing this one. So the academy has a big
great
part
role, yes.
For example, lalo from your state university.
Yes.
So do you have any projects or programs to retain this?
Right now, what I would say or observe as one of the ways by which we are preserving or observing culture is the uses, or us even from the Cordillera, we endeavor to go outside of the Cordillera and present the cultural practices like what we have been doing in Benguet State University. We went as far as Macau, Vietnam, Hong Kong. Others went to Canada, Australia to present the cultural practices so as to ignite once again the spirit of culturalism despite the challenge of globalization.
Yeah, but the challenge really lies with the youth. How do you ingrain to them? How do you retain this traditional culture? Of course, the university, the academy is one actor, but of course there are other stakeholders, government.
I think what I would suggest now, Sir Kalu, is the younger ones like Attorney Jolie, among others, should join the elders so that they will be able to write some books so as for the younger ones to read. And even using the technology, YouTube among others, so these younger ones would observe it and they would sustain it if we are gone.
How about the other stakeholders, for example, government, the NCIP, National Commission on Indigenous Peoples? Do you think it's contributing enough? Or iba yung concern nila?
Iba.
Lupa ang concern.
Yeah, it's when it comes also with
ancestral lands, not the culture.
Yung mga,
although land is part of the culture. Right.
Yes. Pero syempre, what is land if you are at war? So, I think that is the most part na kailangan nating i-maintain apart from yung sabi po natin doon na.
How do you institutionalize, for example, how do you institutionalize the tongtong? How do you institutionalize the dapay? I know for a fact that in Kalinga, they're trying to institutionalize yung bodong.
Yes,
is there a counterpart activity, parallel activity in Benguet?
In Benguet, yung tungtong po natin. Actually, in our own observation, yung tungtong na hindi na usually nangyayari na sa elders Yung mga nagiging elders na namin doon is the barangay officials already.
Okay.
Yung parang nagtatransfer na sila sa mga barangay officials. So, when there are some conflicts, they go to the barangay hall to dun na...
Pero yung spirit, yung principle,
andun pa rin.
The tongtong pa rin.
Andun pa rin yung tongtong.
Kaso we see examples of barangay officials being co-opted by the politicians. May ganong danger ba sa Benguet?
Hindi maiwasan, sir. Pag hindi nga po natin, we will not make the people aware na elders talaga malaki ang function dun sa pag-maintain ng election, ng peaceful election sa Benguet.
How do they do it in Kalinga ba? How do they institutionalize? How are they institutionalizing the bodong?
When it comes to the budong system.
Meron bang is there a law? Or?
Actually, the budong system, they have this pagta, and this is a provision actually that was being executed by these budong members. And this,
pagta is agreement.
Yeah, it's an agreement.
Covenant.
Yeah, that they follow. And actually, the group of students also have conducted this research. There is also a fear already that this budong system will lose also in the province of Kalinga. So the same thing with the province of Benguet.
So ang challenge sa youth talaga.
Yes, it's the challenge is the youth.
So sino dapat yung talagang tumututok sa youth sa palagay mo? Kasi malaking epekto nito eh. They're able to maintain these traditions, we will be able to maintain yung peaceful elections. So do you think you're doing enough? Or sinong kailangan nating hingan ng tulong? Or feasible pa ba among the youth today?
I think it is. We just let them more aware and to explain to them the importance of elders. And siguro doon din sa community, we need to encourage also those people na yung parang they have the capacity and quality to become elders in the community, to become one.
The way I see it, Doc Camila, correct me if I'm, the way I see it, hanggat hindi nako-co-op ng politicians, yung katulad ng politicians sa lowland, yung system. Kasi remember, these are parallel systems. You have the political system as enshrined in our constitution, and you have the traditional system. As long as yung modern politicians do not co-opt these traditional leaders, andyan pa rin yan. It's just a matter of siguro trying to institutionalize them. For example, yung ginawa sa BARMM, diba, they try to institutionalize some of the traditional practices in their constitution, in their yung kanilang law. So are there initiatives to do that?
Yeah, I think the elders now are doing their job because they know that they will have to go. So I think they're also followers of what Abraham Lincoln, when he said, "We are not enemies but friends. Let's continue to do the bonding of ourselves so that the better angel will continue to be with us."
Should it be enshrined in the law? Palagay mo, yung traditional systems?
It should be.
It should be.
Yes.
Pag naayos yung autonomy, so kailangan talagang i-promote siguro yung autonomous region of Cordillera. Okay?
Hopefully.
But you're positive na sana matuloy pa ito. So then we still have to we will continue to have peaceful elections.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Attorney Julie. Thank you very much, Doc Philip. Thank you very much. And hopefully sa mga susunod, because we will talk more about the Cordillera culture in some of our future episodes. In the meantime, thank you very much, folks. I'm Kaloy Tabunda, and I'm 1 with 25.